Welcome to Pagan Crafting, where art and magic intertwine. As the wheel turns towards Samhain, we pause to remember those who walk this path before us. Today I'm crafting an Ancestor Offering Bowl shaped from air-dry clay, imprinted with fallen autumn leaves and brushed with paint in the warm fading colors of the season. Each press of the leaf, each swirl of the paint becomes a whisper, a quiet thank you into the hands that shaped our stories. So come sit with me for a while. Let's create something sacred together, an offering born of the earth, art, and remembrance. Here's what our craft supplies that we're going to need. We're going to need flowers, herbs, gem dust, crystal dust, anything from rock chips and leaves of your choice. I'm going to have a PDF download here that has a supply list, magical additions, decorative finishing touches, and optional magical layers. These ones will have the corresponding, a little bit of meaning behind each of the ingredients that I've chosen to rock in this craft as well. I'm working on some simple air dry clay. Working in my intention as I'm kneading the clay, working in my energy, thinking about what I want to do. No different than when you're casting a spell. You want that energy to go into your art. I'm going to flatten this out because I'm not ready to imprint the leaves just yet. We're going to be introducing our herbs first. This is my modern pestle and mortar, yes. Using some mugwort here. Now, mugwort is great for psychic vision and ancestral connection. It is amazing in Samhain ritual during this season. Now, mugwort doesn't bust up as well as it should in the coffee grinder. I use a coffee grinder for my herbs. I really had to break it down by hand as well. Mugwort will usually puff up, which is really nice when you're making a tea. But when you're trying to break it down to put in your clay, it's a little pain in the butt, but I will still be using that. Now we have some cloves here, great for protection and spiritual strength. Again, when I'm putting in my herbs, I'm thinking about what I like the herbs programming to do for the clay. All this is going to enhance and inspire the clay. Cinnamon, warmth, more protection, and a celebration of the turning year. One of my favorite ingredients is to use. I just use that for my coffee station. Just going with it. Rosemary for remembrance, purification. Also wonderful for focus. Focus during your ritual and helps out with memory. To help remember those before us. Calendula, a guiding light for our ancestors. Let's bring in some warmth and happiness and some solar energy during this time of shadow. Marigolds are also used in the Day of the Dead as offerings. Offerings to many deities. Some sage. This is desert sage. Great for clearing and honoring spirits. This sage I got from Drumheller Desert in Alberta, Canada. I go foraging once a year for this. It is one of my favorite spell ingredients. Next to rosemary. Rosemary I use a lot, if you shall notice. But it's very, very, very diverse. All right, so let's mold in all these herbs into our clay. This is going to take a little bit, so I'm going to speed this time up. But as you're, again, working the clay, work in what you would like. So I would love to have a communication with my grandmother. You may have noticed her on the thumbnail to this video in the picture. I never met her. I wish a relationship with her. So this offering bowl, I'm going to be making some ancestral sigil stones that I'm going to adorn the bowl with. I'm also going to acquire a necklace of pearls. She loved pearls, I heard. So I would like to go, I'm going to go down to a thrift store and see if I can find a pearl necklace to add into the bowl to give a little offering to her. Now, the first gem sand that I used in this was clear quartz crystal. This is going to amplify and purify all the other ingredients. It's going to bring up the energy. The next one here I have, this yellow one, is citrine. Citrine is for honoring the sun's last warmth, the transformation. Again, these are all offerings. So amethyst, connection to spirit, intuition, psychic, and clarity. And now all these little gem dust, gem sands I purchased from the Open Circle, and that is a place that is in Alberta, Canada. I will link their website in the description down below where I get my gem sands from. If you notice, I use them in many of my crafts. The last one is obsidian chips for protection, grounding, banishing negativity. We don't want any negative spirits coming forth, any negative. I don't really want to deal with any negative ancestors if there's some grumpy gusses out there. So I would like to invoke the ones that I wish to talk to. Some may want to come forward, but if they're going to be jerks, I don't want to deal with them. So my offering bowl does hold that in mind. Now I'm ready to work with my clay. Gonna grab some saran wrap here, some cling wrap. I do not know how to get it out of that box. I struggle with it every time. That's fine. So now we're gonna grab a small bowl, some saran wrap, and we're gonna do some leaf pressing just like we did when we were kids. Heck yeah. Remember kindergarten? I remember doing this. Some crafts we just got to get back to the basics when making some pagan crafts. Whichever leaves you decide to use, a friend of mine, so lucky, she's from Oregon, and she got to use these giant maple leaves making her ancestor bowl when we made it on our Patreon, Pagan Crafting. We have a once a month where we get together and we do pagan crafts or spells together. And that is the Pagan Crafting Coven Witch tier. Super fun together. Sometimes we meet a couple times a month. So it depends on what's happening. Like this one, it only was an hour long because we had to wait now for our clay to cure. So we're getting together again for another craft to make up for lost time. I think that's fair. Now we're simply going to be working the clay together. Now you want to wet the corners a little bit more. This clay wound up being super wet, so it wound up coming together pretty nicely, pretty quick. But if you're using an artist air dry clay versus I'm using a dollar store clay, my friends. If you're using an artist clay, which I have used before on my channel, that one you do need to score it a little bit, rough it up a little bit, and wetten it. Create a little slough in between for it to attach better. But this one was going together pretty well. Only had one leaf later on that removed itself. And the saran wrap's going to help me get it out of the bowl after it's all dried. So I don't have to, it's a metal bowl, so I'm not able to manipulate the bowl like I would. Maybe a Tupperware bowl if you had one, a 1970s, 1980s Tupperware bowl. That'd be a good one to use because you just squeeze the sides, it'll pop out your clay. But saran wrap works in a heartbeat. Still using all the clay up that I possibly can. I would like kind of an oval shape to my bowl. It doesn't need to be rounded. So what I have here, I'm well chuffed with. Look at that. Oh, a little bit of wet there. Push it down. Look at all the patterns from the leaves. I love leaves. I love the fall. And this is 2 days later. I let it dry out really well. And it's ready to paint. Popped it out. Saran wrap was a win. And looks like I have one leaf that moved. I didn't really lock it in. I kind of forgot to do that. So, a little bit of glue. Hot glue's your friend. Just checking all the other leaves. They look pretty good. So I'll just paint that guy separate and then I'll hot glue him down. Gathered some fall colors here. Some gorgeous reds, some burnt umber, some oranges, some yellows. I have a royal purple. May get into green. May get into some of the, I guess that'd be like a coffee cream color that I have there. But my base coat, I'm actually going this beautiful royal purple that I discovered. And I'm going to paint this guy separate. So we'll take care of him later. Don't forget the bottom side. We're going to paint a sigil on the bottom there later. You can paint any bind runes or anything you like along the leaves. I don't quite know what direction I'm going to go with any bind runes, so I think I'm going to rock a sigil on the bottom to power up anything that I put in the bowl. Now this is just fun, a lot of dry brushing, a lot of layers. I really enjoy how the purple's coming through to the red instead of going with a green or brown. I was going to do a brown wash first. I'm like, meh, that's not a good time. So I'm digging on the purple. I love purple fading into red, into orange, into the golden yellow. Let that dry out again. And now I'm going to be just doing some dry brushing of the orange and yellows, and any spot that you may overdo it, just brush in a little bit of red over it, let it dry again, hit another little dry coat. This one, you can't really make any mistakes at all. It's just about building up the layers. I got some yellows I'm going to rock in here. Well, I'm going to finish this up. I think we should get into something else with. Now this is after a couple hours. You can see how the paint's cured. I think I'm finished with it. I'm not going to play with it anymore. Just leaving the purple at the bottom the way it is, liking it. Now you can add symbols and sigils and all kinds of stuff, or actually names of your ancestors, or what kind of ancestors, if you don't know who your ancestors are, what you want to invoke. You can write this on the bottom or the top. Here I'm just going to add a sigil. It's a personal sigil that I'm going to use here, and I'm going to date the bottom. Now I have to say, if you notice, it said a VR to Tuva, the Norse witch. I got this great idea for this Ancestor Offering Bowl from when we did a springtime collaboration a while back, a couple years ago, I think, and she did this. So she did a bowl like this. And I thought this was great to use for a Samhain Ancestor Offering Bowl, and be very specific on which type of herbs and crystals and crystal chips or dust, if you have, that you could use in your clay when making your offering bowl. So thank you, Tuva, for the inspiration. I love and appreciate you. In the description down below, I'll have the video on her channel. But this is it cured. It is beautiful. I loved how everything is sealed, glossy, and shiny. It's brought out the yellows and oranges more too. Our ancestors are truly never gone. They live through our stories and rituals and the art we create in their name. This offering bowl is more than a craft, it's a connection. A way to invite their wisdom and love back into our homes and hearts during Samhain. If you felt inspired by this creation, give this video a like and a share. And please share your own ancestor crafts or altar pieces in the comments. I'd love to hear about what magic you're weaving this season. And if you're new here, join our growing circle by subscribing. We explore art magic, nature crafting, and the spiritual threads that bind us all. Until next time, may your ancestors bless your path, and may your craft always carry their light.